guys. Alright. I think everything's already basically on time. It's 3:02, technically. I was here and ready at 3 to start right on time, but we just ended up being a couple minutes late after it took a couple minutes for me to click everything to get started. But let's see if everything is looking and sounding okay. Let me know, guys, if there's some issues with the stream. Because I'm worried if there might be, but hopefully there will not be. The pathetic attempts to get my attention is worthless. What's that? All right. Okay. Kimberly, but what's going on? David, Matt, Saku-chan, Mafu, nice Yunjin sticker. I know, very nice, right? Very, I want to say underappreciated, but maybe not that underappreciated. I feel like when she came out, like when Yunjin came out, there, like, just being a Geo character, it doesn't really help. But then, like, I feel like a lot of people were just not really that into her. Probably she's gotten a little bit more appreciation, I don't know, more recently, maybe, as just like a physical auto attack booster. If people really use that much these days. I like Yunjin, so yeah, I'm showing my support. But that's that. Matt's a Yunjin enjoyer there, so we got a few Yunjin enjoyers here. That's good. Let's see, Mr. No Life over there on Twitch. What's going on? Hey, everybody and anybody who's watching on Twitch. Hello. Yeah, Geo is Geo. I'm hoping that we're gonna see a little bit of a renaissance for Geo in 4.0 at some point, because even MiHoYo's got a, even Hoyoverse now, yeah. Even Hoyoverse has to know that, like, Geo's kind of just like completely not useful. I don't want to say not useful, but anyway, it's very much the least popular element, I feel like, for a while now. Just because it's, it didn't have any dendro reaction, so, which is weird. I mean, plants grow in the ground, so there should be some kind of reaction there. Anyway, with Sumeru, and Geo not having any reaction with all the new dendro stuff, yeah, it happens. And with just there not being that many Geo units in general. They'll focus on Hydro since the Hydro region. I mean, yeah, the main focus will be on Hydro, but what I'm hoping is that there will be like something thrown in. There'll just be like some new characters that introduce like some new mechanics, or like a new artifact set or something. Something to introduce that they can, start having more Geo stuff thrown in there again. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, let's see. Mr. J, how are you? I'm doing good. Friday here today. They should buff Geo, maybe. Yeah, something. I don't know. Maybe they'll introduce a new reaction with something. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway. Yeah, Zhongli is amazing for not dying. I don't have Zhongli, and I don't ever really even plan on pulling it, in his eventual rerun. I don't even want to say if. I mean, he's obviously going to be rerun at some point. If I will pull for him, I don't know. I mean, I guess the shielding is cool, but I just don't really ever have any situations where I feel like I really wish I had that Zhongli shield, because like, I'll play the Spiral Abyss, but I'm not like super, what do you call it, post game, right? I don't know. I'm not like really trying to get like the best time or like highest numbers and stuff like in Spiral Abyss. Like, I'll play it just to pick up some extra primogens basically, and that's about it. So I don't know. just don't really need it. Don't really need Zhongli, but maybe I will in the future. Currently waiting for the Hydra Archon out. Will you be getting a Johnny Raiden Google? I think you mean Gelgoog, Matt. Yeah, I was talking about that on the last live stream. I don't know. Maybe that's what Matt's referring to. He's asking if I've made up my mind on that. Currently, I've still not made up my mind on it, so I'm still leaning towards no, just because I haven't ordered one yet. But I could still change my mind at some point once I take another look at it. Yeah, let's hope I do still enjoy Ningguang. Yeah, I liked Ningguang a lot earlier on, kind of very early on in the game. Just like as a character, I found her use kind of clunky, and I do still enjoy her. I think she's still like pretty good, has some good, has some like fun mechanics, but she's just very slow, very, very slow and clunky to use. I feel like sometimes just compared to other characters. So as much as I do love Ningguang, just rarely ever use her. Char's Google. Yeah. If you really need shield, Zhongli is really top tier. Yeah, yeah, I don't know. Usually if I'm playing, as funny as it may sound, if I really want some shielding, I'll either use like, I'm trying to think of just who would be my go-to. I mean, like, honestly, Toma would probably be one of my go-to characters if I really need a shield, just because of the fact that I don't know, my Toma build is pretty good, so he's useful, not for any DPSing, but I mean he's useful enough as a shielder, and the pyro application is also pretty good. So I like him. He's a character that you know, when he first came out, I didn't use him at all. It was just like immediately benched and never came out. But then I started using him, and yeah, now if I want a little extra shielding, that's usually who I go to. So. Yep. Anyway, I know there's some questions in there, so let's talk about some other non-Genshin Impact related things, shall we? Let's look at this head build. Are you free to play? Yeah, Tsumiki. Yeah, free to play. Basically, like I don't spend money on Primo Gems. I'll get the Welcome Moon Pass every month and the Battle Pass every month. So that's like $15 total that I pay. I'll get those just for getting more rewards and stuff, some more Primo Gems, but I don't like just pay straight up to buy gems. The kit finally arrived. Gunpla Studio said the kit finally arrived in the US. Yay! Unfortunately, not that I know of. Not anywhere in the US, like via Bandai. This one I got directly from Japan, so I should be clear about that with you guys. Now the question is, do I want to use the stickers for the eyes or not? There's stickers for, let's see. Oh, and we can have them as green or pink. Well, let's look at what's on the cover art. They're green in the cover art, so that's what I'm going to stick with. And I will, well, let's see. No, I'm just going to leave all those stickers off for the time being for all the cameras, because it's all already molded in the correct colors. So let's take a look at this. Let me just show this to you guys. I want to zoom in. There's a lot of questions I see in the chat, so I apologize. I'm not getting to everybody. I'll come back and try to get through some of those. Saku saying Diona's shield is nice. Yeah, Diona is another one that I used to use more often, not that much these days. I kind of always forget about her, like when I'm thinking that I need a shielder. I guess I need to like level her up a little bit, just because I feel like my Toma build is better, so that's just who I usually go to. But Diona, yeah, it's pretty good. Okay, anyway, yeah, so check out the head. We've got the separate gray part for the Vulcans and kind of around the eyes, the green part for the eyes, the yellow part for the vents and the side of the head. I'm going to just leave this zoomed in for a moment. I'll try to stay in frame while we put the head together so you guys can see that up nice and close. Was the Calibarn only in the last episode? I don't know, Eric. Someone else hopefully has already answered that question for you. Didn't use the eye stickers, they popping up as they are. Yeah, I have a feeling like probably not really too necessary. Not getting these parts that lined up. There we go. There we go. We got that. This part here for the top of the head. Right? That's backwards. That's why. There we go. Okay, then we're gonna go for rainbow V-fin, naturally. And see if I can figure out where this goes in here. Just like that. And there is going to be a sticker on here as well. So it kind of is going to cover the whole faceplate and the V-fin is kind of all one thing. Seems like this, well, I guess it's going to work out. Seems like that should have gone on before putting the parts on the opposite side, but there we go. Nice. And sticker 6 or 5. Depending on whether you want it active or inactive, we're going to use the active stickers, of course. Let's see if I can nail this. Holding my breath for that sticker placement. Clear part is here, hiding. There we go. Very nice. Cool. Very cool. All right, Toma is really good now that version exists. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's the other reason. I guess, yeah, that's another good point why I haven't been using Diona. Because no ice reaction with Dendro. Like I said, with so much happening recently with the introduction of Dendro and like so much happening in Sumeru, this kind of Dendro's kind of always around now, and so yeah, the ice reactions have also kind of gone by the wayside for the most part. I don't really use them too much. Was it just mine or is the stream blurry? Yeah, let me know if the stream quality is rough. Okay, yeah, I was kind of worried about that. Let me see. Let's see. Really nice color separation for the head. Yeah. Brian and Travis. Hey, what's going on, Brian and Travis? Don't think I've seen you guys here for maybe the past couple streams, maybe. Yes, you can request a shout out. Asim. It's Asim's birthday. Happy birthday. Also, is there a possibility that you're going to review Figurei's standard Goku and Vegeta new spec version? Probably, most likely, 99% not going to review those, just because I don't really like the Figurei's Dragon Ball kits that much, personally. Just don't really do a whole lot for me, but happy birthday. Tuning in from the lower 48, Joseph said. Yes, same here, streaming from the lowest of 48. Yeah, 720p is what it normally should be as far as the stream quality. But yeah, I have a video it's uploading at the moment. It's almost done. It should be done in about 20 minutes or so. I kind of wasn't thinking and I set it to upload and like, so it's either, it was either cancel the upload that was already at like 70% and then have to start it again after the stream, or like just rough it out for the first part of the stream with lower quality, just so you guys, I don't know, just so I don't have to upload the video again. So if the quality is like real bad, let me know. I'll stop the upload, but as long as it's fine, then just kind of saves me the hassle of having to redo that video that's currently uploading now. That usually will make the computer work a little too hard to do both at the same time. Okay, pros and cons of the God hand nippers, Joseph. Well, I mean, the biggest con obviously is just the price. Another one would maybe be that they're sort of fragile. I mean, you see like the horror stories on Twitter, or not Twitter maybe as well, but I think I mostly see on Facebook of people like dropping their God hand nippers or something like that, and the blade breaking on there. And that's not something I would necessarily worry about because it shouldn't happen, but if you're not careful, it can happen. So I mean, if you're gonna drop your nippers and have them crack or break or whatever, I would rather do that with like a $20 or $30 set of nippers rather than like a $40 or $50 set of nippers. You know what I mean? When you're really getting kind of pretty much the same performance out of them, the extra money they're spending isn't really getting you that much more for your money. I don't feel like. I mean, they're good, but I don't know. It's up to you, whatever you feel like spending for your tools. I mean, if you can afford it and you really want like something, you know, something like that. I was gonna say something of that quality, but I don't even know, like, honestly, how the quality really compares to like other brands like Tamiya ones or like our USA Gundam Store nippers. Because for me, they're all like pretty much right there, you know, at like this same kind of quality. So, in my opinion, I don't necessarily think that there's anything really too noteworthy making one that much better than the others. So. Got this big sticker. It's not like huge, but it's like a big wraparound one. Or here in the chest. I'll do my best to get this in here. Whoop. That's not even close. Well, it's close, but I want it to be a little closer. That's probably better. All right. What nippers do you recommend? I'm new to Gunpla building, Joseph said. Well, if you're in the US, meaning if you're able to order from USA Gundam Store, beep, beep, beep. The cool thing is that if you get nippers with your order, you know, you're ordering like a few other things and you also add the nippers to your order, then it gets you free shipping if you buy a set of nippers. So I think it's a pretty good deal. If you're looking to buy some nippers, if you also find like a kit or something and you get the nippers at the same time, you'll get free shipping, which I think is good. And the nippers are good. The nippers, it's what I use all the time. And like I said, I think the quality is basically the same as anything else. Just as good, if not better than like Tamiya or other brands, Display or anything else like that. The chest sticker was the only annoying part of the build. Mafu said, yeah, I think it went on kind of okay. I'll see once I get the clear part on top if I really think that it could be better. It's going to be covered up by this clear part anyway, on the top part anyway. So you kind of don't really even need that. But let me go ahead and put these on here. Another question, let's see. Tamiya nippers are the best for the price. Alphabetical said, yeah. They're good. Like I said, you kind of can't really go too wrong with any of the single blade nippers, really. So this clear part on the top doesn't really click into anything. It's just going to be held on by these side pieces here. Is that what we're talking about? When am I going to add this part onto the... Oh, this part doesn't go on the bottom. It goes on the waist. That's why. Okay. Fenrir said, hope you're having a good day. Thank you, Fenrir. I am. Today's going pretty good. Excuse me. There we go. All right. There's the torso. Very nice. Kind of interesting, the design on that. Very much so. Very interesting design. Uh-oh, the stream is frozen. I see. Okay. So, yeah. I'm just going to have to do this here for a moment. We're going to switch to here, this one. I'm going to unplug that. Going to give that camera a rest for a moment. Yeah, I can see the camera froze. Thank you. Let's see. Yeah, Mafia, you also recommending the display nippers. Yeah, any of that you can use. Is there a USA Gundam Store stream tomorrow? Yes, there will be. Hey, Adam. I need the kit for tomorrow. Just a reminder. Yeah, there is going to be a USA Gundam Store stream tomorrow, so watch out for that post after this live stream is done. I'll post that for you guys. So if you guys don't normally watch the live streams on the USA Gundam TV channel, Adam and I answer your guys' questions and hang out, talk about what's new, what's coming in, and also give away a kit every episode. So you guys can enter to win the kit for free. All you gotta do is look out for the social media posts on Instagram, YouTube on the USA Gundam TV channel, YouTube channel, and Facebook on the USA Gundam Store Facebook page. So all you gotta do is go on there and leave a question in the comment section on the post, and you'll be entered. And the cool thing is, you guys actually have multiple chances to win by simply commenting on each of the posts. So you can only comment once on each post, but you can comment, you can leave your questions, and it doesn't have to be a different question. You can leave the same question on the Facebook page post, on the Instagram post, and on the YouTube post. So essentially you're entered 3 times. So I know there's some people that do that, but other people who don't or haven't figured that out yet. So just a heads up, you guys. Is the alphabetical is asking, is it US only? No, it's not. We have had winners from abroad. So even though like for the store, for the website, it's US only, like for the shipping and everything. And I think we opened it up to Canada as well, if I remember correctly. And anyway, but yeah, for the giveaway, it can be anywhere in the world. So, all right, just putting together the waist. Nothing really too interesting here at the moment, except for the fact that this clear part in the front seems like it's not going to want to stay there, which could be a problem. If that tiny little clear part is falling out, it's definitely going to get lost. A fellow German in the chat. Oh, where? Let's see. They send me the giveaway prize, and I live in Germany. There you go. Sakura-chan lives in Germany. I'm just giving that part the drop test to see if that clear part's going to fall out again or not. But it seems like it's pretty well stuck in there for the moment. So, all right, let's plug this camera back in and see. Hopefully, it should be working now. Okay. Yes. Okay. Switch that back. There we go. Hey. All right. So yeah, as I was saying, this clear part here, on the front of the crotch, there's a little clear part right there on top of that sticker. And I pressed it in there really good, and I think it's gonna stay there hopefully. But I think it's like if you don't have the sticker in exactly right, like the sticker will mess up the fit a little bit of that part probably. It's probably what was going on, so that's the thing you're gonna want to watch out for. Saku-chan Alphabetical was wondering what you won. I don't remember. Saku-chan, you're gonna have to answer that. What you won in that giveaway. I remember you winning, if I remember correctly. I think I recall that, but don't know for sure. Okay, we got these parts here for the back skirt. What you got? I'll show them. Okay.
What? People get a preview?
Yeah, people get a preview.
Oh,
Ta-da! There you go. Here's your preview for what's going to be given away tomorrow on the live stream is the MG Blast Impulse. Awesome kit. I built and reviewed this kit. Really cool. The MG Impulse is a really, really nice kit in its many variations. So, yeah, check out the live stream tomorrow. Watch out for the post. I'll post that for you guys. It'll be after the live stream. I'll get that posted for you guys so you can leave your comments and enter yourselves in for the giveaway for that. Okay. For now, let's finish this up. This back skirt. It's quite the back skirt there. With these vents that kind of pop out to the side like that. It's quite a thick back skirt. Some serious junk in the trunk there. Oh, that clear part fell out again. Yep, I'm worried about that. I think for the time being, I'm just going to leave that off. Because I'm worried. I don't want to glue it because I don't want to have that clear part glued in there if and when I ever want to paint the kit. So it's not ideal. Impulse is certified baller. Yeah, I agree. It's a really nice kit. Okay. Let's zoom in a little bit for you guys. I feel like there we go. I like it's maybe a little bit more better to see. Nice prize, yes. I won the Gorai Kai once. A lot of fun to build. Gave it to my friend who collects waifus. There you go. Hello, Zakarilis. Greetings from the Philippines. Happy building. Shimarin said. Yeah, hello to anybody else there in the Philippines. Anybody watching from the Philippines? I hope that I'll get the chance to visit Philippines. Again, I had a good time visiting there and doing some Gunpla events there many years ago now. So I don't know, it's like 5 years ago or something. Probably, yeah, it's probably about right. 5-6 years ago almost. Actually, just the other day, I think actually just yesterday, yeah, it must have been yesterday. I was wearing my all-day Gunpla in the Philippines shirt. T-shirt. So yeah, because I went to the Philippines and did some stuff there, I made like a Philippines version of the T-shirt that I had, the Gunpla All Day shirt. You can check it out. I do have a website with T-shirts and stuff if you guys are interested. But yeah. Check that out. The link for the website for the t-shirts, if you guys are interested, is not under this video. You'd have to go to one of my other, just like a regular video on my channel. It's always in the video description, just not for these live builds. I don't think it's in the video description on YouTube. I don't believe so. So interesting. And a folding bit there on the back of the foot. All right, so there's our foot. Making some mental notes here so I can build the second leg without the use of the instructions, hopefully. All right, we are going to have a couple of stickers on here, 14 or 15. I'm going to go 15. What? All right, can't wait to build this kit. Gunpla, what is it? Gunpla Chef. So are you actually a chef, or like just a, you just enjoy cooking kind of thing? 12. I thought about being a chef once. Kind of like in high school, when you're thinking about like, oh, I wonder if I could do this for a lot of things, and then you think about it for like a couple of days, and you're like, nah. But no, I did think about it. Even like we did like a thing in my high school where we had like a job shadow day, kind of. So like there was like some different options that you could choose from, and the one that I chose to go on was for being a chef. So like we got to go to like this big restaurant, and the chef there kind of talked to us all about being a chef. And he did a good job of convincing me that I did, in fact, not want to be a chef. It's like, of course, he talked about like how, yeah, you have like really long hours. You're always working on like nights and weekends, and like the time when most people, don't want to be working. He said, it's hard to take time off because, you need to work at the times when it's popular for people to be traveling places and stuff like that. So it's a difficult job. One thing was it made me appreciate, that profession a lot, doing that job shadowing, but it also made me to realize that, yeah, it's maybe not for me. Let's see. Is it easy to remove the clear parts for this kit or the Schwarzette? Yeah, I find it usually pretty easy to remove the clear parts on Bandai's kits. I mean, you do have to be a little bit careful. You have to be a bit more cautious than you would for like the non-clear parts, but should be fine. What I mean by more cautious is like don't cut as close to the part when you're cutting the part off the runner. Normally, I don't ever cut flush on the part. Some people do that, and some people say that the reason they do that is because you can with the nippers, with like good nippers, you can cut right up against the part. Even if you can, I just don't really feel like it's a recommended strategy. So I don't do it. I don't recommend it. But I usually, when I cut it off the runner, I'll leave a little bit. With clear parts, I'll leave more, because the clear parts are more likely to crack and stress. So if you cut it really close to the part or anywhere near the part, you run a greater risk of getting cracks and stress marks in the clear plastic. So that's the only thing kind of you really need to do. And then just be careful about then how you're cutting away that nub once you got it off the runner. So what's going on? Red 5, what's up, man? Watching from Twitch. Do you have any ongoing custom projects? Tetsu. Yeah, actually, just before this, I was airbrushing for the first time in a long time. So basically the whole time that I've been here in the US, I haven't airbrushed anything, just because of this space is just not conducive to airbrushing. It's a small room. There's nowhere to put the ventilation in here, so it's just not good for airbrushing, like if health is at all a concern. So, and not even like my own health, but the way that the ventilation system is here is that when I paint, the fumes go right down into the office downstairs as well. So yeah, just can't. I did try airbrushing some acrylics because a company sent me some acrylics to try out. I tried it a little bit with the airbrush. I just didn't like the paints at all. So that's basically all I've really done so far as airbrushing for like the entire time that I've lived here in the US, like I said. So today, though, I did actually do some airbrushing. So I built a spray booth. That was the other problem, was that this room is just not good for airbrushing. The other problem was this, that I didn't have a good spray booth. I tried one of those ones that you can just buy, like the folding one with like the hood part of it kind of like folds up, and it's got the fan. It's just a little box fan. I tried one, even though I tried one before in Korea and didn't like it and didn't use it, and like immediately returned it or gave it away or something. I think it was what it was. But even though I've tried that kind of spray booth before and didn't like it, I rolled the dice and gave it another shot, and again, just didn't like that. So I thought, okay, I'm just gonna have to DIY build a spray booth again, like I had before. And then the trouble that I was running into was getting a fan that was powerful enough. So I would get a fan for the spray booth, try it out, and it's like super weak sauce, and like the fan's not going to do any good if it doesn't suck the fumes, is what I needed to do. So got a fan, tried it out, wasn't good, returned it, because I'm just ordering these off Amazon, so fortunately I can return them. Try another one, wasn't good, return it. I finally found one that is pretty good. It's still honestly not as strong as I would like. For whatever reason, I don't know, the fan that I had in Korea was great. It was good. It was exactly what I did. I just ordered just like it's like industrial grade, or anyway, it's not like a fan, exhaust fan that you use in like your bathroom or kitchen or whatever. It's like a little bit like more substantial one, and it worked really good. And I was able to find like a similar one here, like on Amazon, but then when I got it, it was like super weak sauce. And, like, it looks exactly the same, like it seems like it should work exactly the same, but it just didn't. So I don't know, I finally found one that seems to work pretty good. But then the problem still is just the locations. Where am I gonna spray? Just because I need to be able to spray in a place that I'm not gonna die on the fumes, right? So figured out, I made some space. We have like a little down in the warehouse next to the loading dock door. There's like a little shelf there. So I kind of set up the spray booth there, but then I haven't actually ever tried it, just because I don't know. That means I have to like stand there next to the loading dock while I'm painting, and it's still like not ideal. Long story short, today I finally tried it out, because I had to actually move. Even though I had set up the spray booth down there, I hadn't actually taken my compressor and airbrush and like supplies and stuff down there. So today I did actually set up my compressor and everything. Got that all hooked up down there, tried it out, and it worked all right. You know, it's sort of uncomfortable to have to stand the whole time while you're airbrushing, and it's kind of, even though the shelf is high, I'm tall, so I kind of like had to be a little bit hunched over like that to see like while I'm standing up, or if I'm standing up straight, I can't really see it that closely, and the lighting's not super good. So I think what I need is like one of those, just an LED strip light to put like on the inside of the spray booth. That should be good. Otherwise, I mean, it's gonna work well enough for the time being. Once our new warehouse is built, hopefully at some point this year, that'll be finished and we can get all moved in there, and I'll be able to have a better setup. For now, this is as good as it's gonna get. So I tried it out. Here is the kit. Actually, I sprayed some primer on some of these parts here, and maybe tomorrow or Monday I'll spray some paint on them. There you go. It is the Jim Cannon conversion kit, or the HGUC kit. Like, here's the torso. Move it. Jim Cannon's taken over. So it's a 3D printed resin conversion kit from Project V Hobby. If you guys saw the video recently I did about taking a look at some products from Project V Hobby, that was one of the kits that was in there for me to try out. Was that one? So it's all primed for now, and then I'll work on painting it. I think USA Gundam Store should buy you a professional paint booth, Eric. Well, yeah, we'll see. Maybe when we set up the new warehouse, we'll see about getting something. But like, the only other thing that would be better would be like a big, really professional one. There's this company in Japan. Sort of just like a small shop in Japan that they make spray booths, and they look super nice. I really want to get one, but unfortunately they don't ship to the US. I contacted them and I asked, and they said So let me see. I'm gonna show you here if I can find it real quick. It's Moto 8. I thought, yeah, 6. That's what it is. Moto Tool 8 or Moto 6. Anyway, these guys, Moto 6. The Twitter handle is Moto Tool 8. I'll show you because they're really cool. Look like that. Oop. You guys aren't gonna be able to see anything now. Like that. There you go. So you can see it's got like the fan. So what I built, it's basically like I just tried to make my own version of this. See, they look like that. So the door opens on mine doesn't have a door on the front just because I feel like kind of useless. And mine doesn't have the housing around the fan on the top, but it essentially looks like that. So you can see, let's see, here's like how that's built. See if they have any of their photos here of it. So they basically they'll custom make it for you. So when you order from this company, you can order if you want the door on the front, or if you don't want the door, if you want like a smaller size fan or a larger size fan. If you want this door on the top, there's also a door here that folds down, covers the fan housing on the top there like that. It's all customizable, and you can also choose the color and everything. So really, really super cool company. And I think like for like a full one like this, it's around, I think it's around like $650, something like that, which is a lot, but not that bad, I feel like. If you want a really good one, and they look really nice. So yeah, I looked into it though, but they said they won't ship it to the US, unfortunately, because I mean it'd be big. I think it's probably just the size restrictions. I mean, obviously it would be really, really expensive to ship. I mean, for a $650 whatever dollar spray booth, and then it'd probably be like $200 to ship it. But yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I thought about it. Yeah, USA Gundam Store could write that off. Yes. I think if I asked Adam really nicely, I don't know, he might go for it, but it's okay. We'll see. Like I said, the trouble is that they won't even ship it, so that's the main problem. But yeah, we'll see. If we're in the new warehouse, because like I said, I built my own kind of version of that basically, and it's essentially that. It's not quite as pretty, but I'll take a picture and show you guys later. But yeah, I essentially just built my own of that. If we get into the new warehouse and like it's not working well, like it's still like making too much fumes for me, it's like not working well enough, then then maybe I'll try doing some squeak talking and see if I can get something a little better. But I think it'll work anyway for now. I was glad to be airbrushing again because yeah, like I said, it's been a little while. Okay, looking at this thinking like something's missing. And this part, okay. All right. Okay. It's a much better shoulder design than on the what was that? Schwarzette. Like I mentioned in the review, I was not a fan of the shoulder design, specifically like the seam line design on the Schwarzette. This one's much better, which is nice. Upper arm, lower arm, like that. Pretty straightforward construction here. You know, these parts are designed in a way that hides the seam line in a way that makes sense, like as detail lines, not just as a straight seam line turned into a panel line, but the seam line's hidden as like a detail. Much, much better. Here we go. Coming together. We're almost there. Is USA Gundam Store a moving warehouse? Vicious said. Yeah, about 30 feet that way. Our new warehouse is being built right behind where we're at now. So it's like same land, like the building owner and the landowner is like the same. So yep, we won't have to move very far, which is good because it's already like gonna be, you know, quite the process just to move everything in the warehouse. Of course, you know, just to over there, it's gonna be, you know, a week-long process probably. I guess the good thing about the warehouse not being done yet is that, like, if we were having to move at this time of the year with how hot it is here, it would be pretty awful. So I mean, I guess the good thing with it likely being probably later in the fall that's going to be done, hopefully, that means that it at least won't be quite as hot. So that's a little bit of silver lining, I guess. It's going to be a lot of work. And so during that time, like, I'll be helping to move everything in the warehouse. And then like my office will be like last. So I probably won't be able to make much of anything that week. Vicious said, you got scared for a second. Is the only shops in the store. Yeah, that's awesome that you shop in store. Glad they're able to come in. But yeah, no, we're not moving far. So if you've been here recently, you may have noticed that like in the lot, like right next to or like right behind where we're at, there's like some development going on there. If you've been by recently and noticed that, that's what that is. It's our new warehouse. Very slowly under construction. That part should pop in there, and the first shoulder it popped. This one's not popping, but seems like it's okay. It's a bit cooler and rainy in January, February. I mean, yeah, it'd be even cooler then. Hopefully we're not waiting until then. I mean, because we've been waiting for this new warehouse for like ages. So, you know, everyone's pretty anxious and ready to move into the new warehouse. But yeah, at the same time, I mean, like, waiting a little bit more for the cool weather will be nice, but I don't know, till January, February. Hopefully we're not waiting that long. Basically, they have like I think where they're at the moment is they have all the underground work done, and they're just waiting to pour the slab, just to pour the cement slab. The trouble is it's summertime, so it's kind of like rainy every day. And so I guess they need a certain amount of time with no rain to be able to for this lab. So, does this kit look like the aerial, or am I seeing things? No, it definitely does. I mean, it definitely is going to have some visual similarities to the aerial and the Lipirith, I think, especially when it comes to like just the color scheme. Obviously, is very close to the Lipirith, with it being primarily white. It's missing, unfortunately, those nice pink accents, but yeah, no, it's definitely going to have some visual similarities. Like I think I mentioned in the stream on Tuesday, was that Monday or Tuesday? I think it was Monday. On the stream on Monday, I mentioned how I was planning to actually start watching the show now that it's going up on the Gundam Info YouTube channel. I've not started yet, but maybe this weekend, maybe from tomorrow. Oh, let's see. The shield is exactly the same as the rebuild, which makes me sad. Yeah, it reuses parts of the aerial runners. Yes, that's true. What time is it over there? Here it's almost 4 o'clock. Let's see. I want to paint a Calibarn someday. Calder said, yeah, did it. Eggplant body said, any thoughts on the third-party heavy weapons system kit for the RG High New Gundam? I've not built it, so. I think that's the one that you're referring to. I think is the one that I actually had in Korea, a prototype of that. Like, I got sent like a 3D printed prototype of that kit to build and show off, but it was like a very, very rough 3D printed prototype. Like, it would have been like, it probably would have been easier to just scratch build than to clean up like how rough this 3D printed sample was. So yeah, I didn't end up doing anything with it ultimately, just because yeah, it's way more trouble than it was worth. Okay, let me make sure I put these in the right order. All right, so got this weapon now. So that goes first. And this part goes in here like that. Do have a sticker here, number 26. It's round one for the handle. Interesting. Do you always cut the safety nubs on the V-fin? I was going to do it for my HG RX-78, but on the box it displays the kit with them. I know the Gundam design doesn't have them. Yeah, Ruben, on any painted build, I would. Yeah, usually. I don't normally do it for just like when I'm just building a kit for review for YouTube. So like most of the time in just my reviews, you'll see the safety flag's usually always still there. Sometimes I'll cut it off. More often than not, I don't. It's not for any particular reason other than just I just didn't take the time to do it. But if I'm actually going to be like painting the kit or anything, then yeah, I definitely would. Yeah, a lot of times they will show it in like the box art or something. They'll show it with the with that on there. Let's see, 24 or 25. Let's see. You want to go gray or green? I'm gonna go gray. That's what's shown everywhere on here. It's gray, or like the kind of barrel tip of this part. Could be green if you want, but yeah, even when Bandai shows the like artwork of the Gundam or the sample build and the instructions, like the production images, even when they show it with the safety flags on the V-fin, I mean, it's just for it's just to kind of to show the kit as it is. It's not like meant that like that's how it's supposed to be modeled or anyway. I mean, you can model it however you want, right? So it's up to you. I've seen like really, really good builds. This is kind of interesting. I think I've talked with Josh about this a couple times way back in our Plamono trend days. I know, very sad. But we talked about this a few times, that like sometimes you see like these Japanese builders, and it is usually Japanese builders. I see this much more often than anywhere else, really. But they'll have like these really good builds. I mean, like the customization, the painting, everything is like really good, but then they just like leave the seam lines and don't do anything about the seam lines. Or another example would be like they leave the safety flags on the V-fin. I mean, like some people just kind of, they're really good modelers and they just don't really care to leave that stuff on there. So I mean, it really is up to you. Just kind of have to do what looks good to you, in your opinion. This is going to be your kit at the end of the day. It's going on your shelf. So if you're happy with how it looks, then that's really all that matters. And if you think that you would appreciate the look of it, you'd like the look of it more without those safety flags on the V-fin, then fortunately it's a pretty easy thing to do, to cut off the safety flags and to sand the V-fin down. I mean, you do have to be pretty careful because it's usually a very thin and fragile part. But once you've done it a couple of times, I mean, you get pretty comfortable with it. I mean, I can understand why your first couple times maybe it's a bit nerve-wracking, but it's not that bad. Trust me. Has Plamono Trend been axed? Well, I mean, it's been like kind of permanently shelved. I mean, obviously we haven't done it for a while. And that's just kind of, as I've talked about before, it's just kind of due to our schedules. It's now that I'm in a totally different time zone, totally opposite time zone, it's harder to schedule for Josh and I. So that's kind of the main issue, unfortunately. Brian, Bro Builder Brian, joined me for an episode once, and that was cool. I thought about, just getting someone else to do it with instead of Josh. I mean, the other thing is that I know, okay, Josh is just not doing much Gunpla or plastic model stuff that much anymore anyway. So I think that even if the schedule did work out, like we were able to work out a time that works for both of us, I'm not sure how really kind of genuinely interested in doing it he is kind of anymore. I mean, I love Josh, and I would hope that he would want to still do it together. And I think like he would, like, just knowing Josh, I think he would really enjoy to just hang out with me and in like a live chat and just basically do what we do on Plamono Trend, just like look at cool stuff on Twitter, but not as like a show like broadcast on YouTube, but like just hang out with me via live chat and do it. I think he would really enjoy that, but he's probably just, my assumption is he's probably not very interested in like doing it as like a show on YouTube with me anymore. But, yeah, unfortunate, because it was a lot of fun, but I mean, I totally understand. So maybe I will think about like because I really miss doing that as well, just because it's a fun show. I think it's fun to just kind of hang out, look at some cool stuff on Twitter with you guys. So maybe I will think about like just getting like a permanent replacement for Josh so that I can do that. Because every time I see like a cool trending hashtag on Twitter, I'm still like capturing it. So I have like a big backlog of Twitter hashtags that we can use in any other future episodes, because it's all still on there, assuming that the tweets haven't been deleted. They're still there, so you can still look up the hashtag and see what was posted. So I have a bunch saved for if and when we start doing that show again. So yeah, I'll think about that. Quite the bulky backpack as well. It's got a big bulky back skirt and big bulky backpack. Well, it's like not like bulky, but it's very deep, if that makes sense. The gun attaches via ball joint here. like that. We got this other kind of backpack and shield parts here. Let's see. What's he been up to? I liked that show, Comical Nerd. What's Josh been up to? I know earlier at the beginning of the year, he was on like a month-long solo trip in Japan, and we were texting like every other day, every few days or something. He was giving me updates on like how his trip was going and like sharing photos and stuff with me, and I was like giving him feedback and like suggestions about where to go and stuff like that. He had kind of a lot of stuff already all planned out, but I was still just like sharing suggestions and stuff with him. So that was really cool. Like, we talked a lot during and like immediately after his Japan trip. So that was a lot of fun. Just kind of, it's fun for me to just kind of live vicariously kind of through his trip there. But yeah, in the last couple months, I haven't really talked with him much, so I don't know what he's been doing too much lately, other than just kind of working. I mean, I know he's just been busy with work a lot. It's kind of the main thing. As far as like any other like hobby type of stuff, I know like he was still like enjoying his drone flying and it's like wood box puzzles and stuff, which is one of the things that he did like on his Japan trip. He visited a place where they make those like wood block puzzles where there's like 13 different steps of moving stuff around, sort of like a Rubik's Cube, but you have to like move stuff around in order to like open the box, like a puzzle cube kind of thing, I guess. It's kind of what they're called. Get Tim and then only do Mecha Musume kits or HGs, Chris. Yeah, I haven't talked that much with Tim that much recently either. I know he's just been kind of busy with stuff too, so I don't know. Yeah, a lot of the old crew has just kind of been busy. Simon, I know as well, and Justin. Justin, I see, working on stuff from time to time and posting things like around on Facebook, but I don't see him working on stuff kind of regularly, just kind of every so often, and definitely nothing like for YouTube. I don't think really that much. And yeah. If you take a trip to Japan, how long should it be to get a good experience? That's a great question, Ruben. And I've thought about doing this before, and maybe I will, just because I often get different questions about different things about Japan, because you guys all know that, obviously I've made a bunch of videos there. I lived there for a while, I've been there a number of times, and sometimes people will ask me different questions about that, about places to shop and how to bring stuff back home with you that you buy there, etc., etc. So what I've been thinking about doing for a long time is doing like all about Japan Q&A episode kind of thing, or like yeah, basically that. I think like either a live stream or it's just as like a recorded Q&A. The problem is, I think that if I do it as a live stream, it'll just be long, because these are the kind of things that, knowing myself, I'll like just talk about a lot. Just kind of like ramble on, be very long-winded about. Oh no, I forgot some stickers. 20s. Oh no. Gonna take this part off to put these stickers on while we're talking about that. And did I miss another sticker too? I think I was just really zoning out there, missing a lot of stickers on the weapon. Didn't I? Yeah, 25. I also missed that one too. Okay, but yeah, anyway. So I think if I do it as like a live stream, it'll be very rambly, whereas if I do it as like a recorded video, I'll try to make my answers more concise, but then at the same time, I know it'll still also probably be quite long. So I would have to try to keep my answers very short and concise as much as possible. So I think probably just a recorded thing would be better. This is annoying. But yeah, it's something that I've thought about doing. What was the question anyway about Japan? Did I answer the question, or did I just go off talking about how I'm going to do that? Okay, yeah. So Ruben's original question that made me go off on that tangent was if you're going to take a trip to Japan, how long should it be to get a good experience? So yeah, I think I will do that idea, but I'll make a post about like for you guys to ask your questions, and then I'll do like a Q&A video about that. Gather questions on a live stream and then answer in a video. Yeah, I think I'll just make a post and people can ask their questions, and I'll just kind of pick out the best, because a lot of the questions will be repeat questions anyway. But I'll just do that, so that if I make a post, then I can pick out the best questions and try to think about the answers in a way that I can give you guys somewhat concise answers. So anyway, as for this particular question, how long is a good length to stay to get a good experience in Japan? It's really difficult to answer because it depends. I mean, to really get a good experience, I mean, I would say like 6 months to a year, but that's not feasible for most people. So I mean, like as like a trip, as just like a tourist, I mean, not as like an extended stay, I would say probably about 2 or 3 weeks I think would be good, because if you just go 1 week, you could probably spend most of a week, if not an entire week, only in Tokyo. I mean, you don't have to, but there's so much just in Tokyo that that's probably where you could easily, spend the majority, if not an entire week. With 2 or 3 weeks, that would allow you to maybe spend like a week in Tokyo, and then maybe like around a week in Kansai, which would be like Osaka and Kyoto. Kyoto, I mean, there's people that spend a lot of time in Kyoto. I think honestly, like 2 or 3 days is plenty to kind of see everything, like all the major sites in Kyoto. I would really highly recommend visiting Hiroshima as well. It's a really beautiful city. Obviously, a lot of history there as well. And that's like a whole other thing. I mean, just history aside, it's a beautiful city. And there's also Miyajima is right there. It's like an island, just like right in like the bay. It's kind of right off the coast in like the bay off of Hiroshima. It's a really cool, beautiful island there. That's you guys have probably seen it. It's like where they have all the. It's I think one of a few places. I think there's other places as well, but it's one of a few places where there's just loads of deer all over the place, like an infestation of deer. So just when you go there and you're walking around, there's like a big temple there, a Shinto temple, if I remember correctly. That's what it is, which is really, really nice. It's like right in the bay there. You've probably seen like pictures of like the big orange like torii gate in the water. There's a few places where they have those, but more than likely if you've seen pictures of that, it's probably at Miyajima. So that's another place that I really like from my experience traveling around. And there's loads of places that I haven't been. So I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of really great recommendations. You just have to kind of do your research. I can only recommend places that I've been to. Unfortunately, the thing about Japan is that traveling around within Japan is not that cheap. So like if you're there on vacation and you're going to be spending some money, like that's fine. But like even when I lived there, I didn't really travel around Japan all that much because, I was living there. My job pay was like fine, but it wasn't that much. I didn't like have that much either disposable income or time off to be able to do that much traveling, unfortunately. Because I worked 5 days a week, but my 2 days off were not always consecutive. Like it wasn't always like Saturday, Sunday off. So it'd be like Wednesday and Sunday kind of thing. So that also kind of made it hard to travel. It's expensive to travel somewhere and then just like stay for a day. So, but yep, so hopefully that kind of helps. But I mean, for a good length of time to stay to get a good experience there, I mean, really just do a bunch of research basically. Fortunately, Japan is one country where there's a lot, and now by a lot I mean super a lot of resources online, you know, obviously because it's a pretty popular place for people to go. So you can find loads and loads of resources and recommendations about where to go and where to stay and how long is recommended to stay in different places and things like that. So knowing that you're interested in this hobby, you know, obviously you're going to want to go to like Gundam related places kind of things, right? So you're going to want to go to Odaiba to see the big Gundam base there and the 1/1 scale unicorn. Of course, that's like basically a day. You could do it in just like half a day, but there's other stuff around there to see. So, you know, I would just spend at least half a day for visiting Daiba and the Gundam base, and then at least a day in Akihabara, probably 2 days, just because there's so much in Akihabara, and especially if it's your first time, and you know, and probably the only foreseeable time that you're going to be there. If you don't have plans to like go back again a year later, you're going to want to, you know, try to see as much as you can, and there's just so much to see in Akihabara. So 2 days there, I think, is probably easy. Especially then, I mean, you're not going to be like going around the shops the entire time. You're going to be spending some time to just like kind of walk around in some of the streets and, you know, eating food and all that. There's a lot of good stuff to eat, of course. So aside from that, I mean, Asakusa is one of the main, it's like one of the biggest tourist places in Tokyo. I've actually never been there. The many times that I've been to Tokyo, I've never been to Asakusa, so I couldn't necessarily recommend it, but I know it's like a super touristy place. I mean, like, it's going to be recommended to you one way or the other, I feel like. But Ginza's pretty cool. It's basically just like a big shopping area. So, I mean, I've been a couple times, but I'm not sure if I would ever really go there again if I didn't have a good reason for going there. Roppongi, you're probably going to hear about Roppongi. I wouldn't necessarily recommend going to Roppongi. I mean, it's kind of interesting. Roppongi is pretty well known as being like a particularly like tourist place. A lot of foreigners there, I guess is what I mean. So there's a lot of foreigners that go there and a lot of foreign businesses there. So like you find like cafes and shops and bars. There's particularly a lot of like nightlife there that are owned by like Eastern Europeans and Africans and stuff like that around a lot there. So it's kind of interesting if you're not like interested in like going to bars or hookah bars or like, I don't know, Turkish restaurants. If that's not what you're in Japan to do, then you probably don't need to go to Roppongi. Shibuya, of course, is cool. I would, take like at least half a day, go check out Shibuya. What else? I would recommend visiting the Imperial Palace in Tokyo. It's really cool just because it's, you know, you're like in Tokyo in this gigantic, massive city, and then the Imperial Palace is just like this gigantic garden, basically, like right in the middle of the city, with a big castle and garden and all that. It's pretty dope. I spent a day in Akihabara and it wasn't enough. Yeah, no, a day, it just wouldn't be enough, I feel like. Also, don't forget the time it takes to travel and transit. Yeah, food and all that. Yeah, don't make it too tight schedule. Yeah, I mean, that's totally agree. Everything Juku's saying there. I mean, yeah, think about it. If you're planning like a week's trip, you know, that's going to be at least a couple of days of just travel time, depending on where you're coming from. But you got that. And then, yeah, you're going to want to spend some time, you know, enjoying the food and just kind of just walk around. It's the one thing that, speaking of like talking with Josh, oh yeah, Harajuku, also cool. Yeah, that's true. Comical nerd mentioning Harajuku. I think it's in Harajuku. That's where that robot cafe is, that robot restaurant. I've been to that. I did that experience. It's expensive and it's super touristy, but it was honestly kind of cool, kind of fun. Like if you don't mind spending, the nice thing is that like it's at night in the evening. You have to make a reservation for the robot restaurant. It's like a whole production. I mean, just look it up online. I actually featured a little bit in a video, in one of my videos. There's a little bit of it you can see. It's an experience. Yeah, I mean, like if you're traveling on a budget and you know there's a lot of other, and especially a time budget as well, I maybe wouldn't recommend it. But if you have some time there in Tokyo and you don't mind spending a little money for like a pretty unique experience, then yeah, check out the robot restaurant. Anyway, yeah, what was we were talking about food. Oh yes, with Josh. That's one thing that I recommended to Josh, like when he was in like his last couple of days there of his trip. So as I was talking about before, like I was talking with him quite a lot during his trip in Tokyo, or not in Tokyo, not only in Tokyo. He went around in different places in Japan as well. But while I was talking with him during his trip, he kind of like was getting to the last few days, and he was saying that like, yeah, he's only got a couple days left, and he doesn't really have anything planned. And I recommended to him, you know, I was like, I would just not sleep and just spend as much time, just walk around and just like kind of take it all in. Because for the majority of his trip, like he had a lot of stuff planned out, and he like did a lot of really cool stuff actually. And he was gonna make a video of it, or at least like one or two videos. I don't know if he ever finished and or posted any videos of his trip. Unfortunately, I'll have to ask him. But yeah, for most of his trip, he had, you know, like so much planned out and everything. But on his last few days, I was like, it's got to be kind of like a little bit surreal and depressing, because he had been there for like a month and he did like all this really super cool stuff, like really unique experiences, everything. He actually made like really made the most of his trip there. I was very jealous. But yeah, he said like in his last few days, I was talking to him like, man, it's got to be kind of like a little bit depressing and sad to know that, you know, you got to go back to reality soon, and you only have a couple days left there. And you know, you get that feeling, because I understand, I've been there, like especially on like a longer trip like that, like you get that feeling like you only have a couple days left and you really want to make the most of it. Like you don't want to waste, you know, those last couple days just because it's been a long trip. You're kind of getting a little tired, and like maybe you're also feeling like you've also already spent a lot of money. So yeah, I told him, I was like, just like don't sleep. And I mean, like not literally don't sleep at all, but you know, don't go to bed early. Anyway, like just spend as much time as you can, just like hang out outside, walk around, take it all in, just enjoy it. You know, unlike the US, Japan is a country where you can just drink outside. So, you know, like just go hang out outside a convenience store, drink some beers, and yeah, just like take it all in. Like that's probably one of like my favorite things to do in Japan is like just hang out outside. Like not doing anything in particular, but like just hang out, like just people watch, just kind of listen to the sounds, enjoy the view, do all that. So I think he did take my advice and did that, and he said, yeah, it was really nice. So, yep, I miss it. Yeah, I miss Korea a lot though too, a lot. I was there. I lived in Korea for 10 years, so it's basically like a second home for me. I miss it a lot, but I miss Japan too, just as like also a cool place to visit, right? Hey, this shield is different from the shield from the aerial Gundam. This is from the aerial rebuild, huh? Is that what you guys are telling me? Because I know that it's obviously very, very similar to the aerial, but I know it's a little bit different. But it's the same as the aerial rebuild. Is that what's up with that? There's these last two little stickers there. Sticker number 20. Where do those go? These two little green squares here in the corner. It does feel like some fantasy place, and the hangover can be brutal. Yeah. The Zeonic Shadow. What's up? Hey, how's it going? Why move back to the US? Ian said, mostly for our kids. Yeah, so our kids are 5 and 7 at the moment, and we wanted them to grow up with English as their main language. Korean is already their first language, but both. On the back of the arm. Okay, thank you, Mafuyu. I knew I could rely on you. Back of the arm? Back of the arm? Did I miss that somewhere? Oh, yeah, okay, there it is. All right. Thank you. Yeah, mostly for our kids' education. I mean, like, growing up in Korea, they would still, I mean, like, because obviously, I speak mostly English. So, I mean, they would still speak English at home, some, and they would study English at school, but it would still be a second language for them. And they wouldn't have the mastery that they would have from growing up with it here, and not only the language but also the culture. And I mean, like, look, there's pros and cons about Korean culture versus American culture, Korean school versus American school. Like, trust me, neither is perfect. But weighing the pros and cons, we thought that it would give them more advantage in life. I mean, like, I think for those of you guys who are American, I hope if you've never traveled around the world or ever lived in other countries, I mean, like, having English as a first language and having a US passport is such an advantage that I think most people don't ever realize or don't ever even think about or don't appreciate, but it really is just for traveling in the world. Like, if you're at all interested in traveling in the world, mastery of English and that US passport just make it easier. Like, if there's so many countries that you don't even need to apply for a visa, you can just get right in, that kind of thing. So it's certainly beneficial. There's other pros and cons, like especially for our son, there's mandatory military service for boys in Korea, and so if we lived there, if he was keeping his Korean citizenship, then he has to go to military service, which I know maybe he wants to. He still can if he wants to, and I think in order to keep his Korean passport, his Korean citizenship, he would have to go to the military. And I don't know, that laws on that's kind of changing all the time, and I don't know what it's going to be like once he gets to be 18. We'll see. There's a lot of things to consider in our moving to the U.S. And like, yeah, for my wife and I, we would have been perfectly happy and comfortable staying in Korea. Like for us, that's the preferable place for us to be. But we know the advantages and the opportunities that would be available to our kids growing up here compared to there. So I don't know, like, it's a tough decision. I mean, look, I won't say that I've not had second thoughts or regrets. I've had a lot, but I don't know. This is what we're doing, so yeah. Anyway, was the giveaway winner for the Dubai Gundam Expo Gundam ever announced? Yes, Jonathan, it was. I've not shipped that out yet. I have it right here. It's right here behind me. I was actually just thinking about that today, that I haven't sent that out yet, but I did get a winner for that, and I did get her address. Female modeler, which certainly not unheard of, but it's certainly not the majority in this hobby, so that's cool. Let's see. The military service is always a topic of contention in Korea. Yeah, it is. Actually, I was going to mention about this earlier because there's a really, really great show on Netflix that you guys should check out. It's a Korean show called DP, and it's really good. They just came out with the second season of it. So last night, my wife and I started watching the second season of it. Really, really good show, and I highly recommend it for you guys if you're at all interested in like just Korean culture. It's about the guys in the military service, and it's particularly about a couple of characters whose job it is to track down and bring back deserters. So guys that like are there doing their military service, but then for whatever reason, like they decide to just like what do they call it, desert, just to run away from their military service. Obviously they're not allowed to do that, so there's like a special like kind of division that has guys that will, if somebody deserts, they have to go find them and bring them back. So that's kind of what it's about, but it's a pretty interesting and pretty terrifying insight into the mandatory military service there in Korea. Just like the bullying, like, that's an understatement, but severe bullying and kind of stuff that goes on there. It's a really good show. Anyway, check it out. Second season is just out now, so it's pretty good so far. When painting Gunpla, is it common to build a full kit first and then take it apart to build? I think that's what I do, and I think that is what the majority of people do. I think not 100%, not obviously not everybody, but most people, and I think most of the kind of more experienced builders, yeah, you typically build the kit first and then disassemble it for painting. Yeah, a lot of great Korean movies. Personal favorites of mine are Burning and Old Boy. Yeah, Burning, I'm not sure if I've ever seen that one. Old Boy, of course, is quite famous, probably one of the most famous Korean films. Really good. Another one of my favorites is Three Iron, or the Korean title is Binjip, but in the English title is Three Iron. It's also really good. If you like Old Boy, I actually really like the third. It's the first or third. Old Boy is the middle movie of the kind of Vengeance trilogy from that director. Let's see. Anyway, I like Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance. I think I can't remember if it's the first or the third one. It's the first one, I think, and then the third one's Lady Vengeance, if I remember correctly. I might have those reversed, but Lady Vengeance was kind of not as interesting, but Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance is really, really good. I like that a lot too. If you like Old Boy, you'll like that. It's by the same director. Penny Pinchers is a hella underrated Korean movie. I'm not sure if I've seen that either. There was a really good Korean drama that we watched that we're waiting for the second season of that too. I think it was on Apple Plus. What was the name of it? It's about a Korean family that lives in Japan, and they have pachinko. Yeah, it's called Pachinko. Right. That's what they own, a pachinko parlor. The family does there in Japan. It's really good. Really looking forward to a second season of that at some point as well. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap up the stream. The bill is done, and I got a couple of things here to finish before the day is done here. I'm gonna get this posted for you guys. The giveaway kit for the live stream tomorrow. Adam and I will be live on the USA Gundam TV channel, be giving away this premium Bandai master grade Blast Impulse Gundam. So look out for the post where you can comment on the post to enter for the giveaway. That'll be on the USA Gundam Store Facebook page, Instagram account, and USA Gundam TV YouTube channel. Check that out. Let's see, any last comments here? Jiku talking about when prying the parts off, I tend to either break or mar the parts. Yeah, going back to the topic of building a kit and then disassembling it before painting. Yes, the trouble is that when disassembling, yes, sometimes you might damage or break a part kind of a little bit. Usually not, though. I wouldn't worry about it. But if and when that happens, look at it this way. Look at it on the bright side, as it's an opportunity for you to learn something new about how to fix a broken part. So I've learned a lot about fixing damaged and broken parts, and just from that experience. So it's definitely very, very much worth the risk to build in that way. I think, in my opinion, to build the kit first and then disassemble before painting, compared to not building the kit first and just painting and then doing your building. Because then once you paint the kit, if you're not familiar with how the kit goes together, then once you're actually putting it together, you may run into issues that are going to make you either have to do additional work or have to repaint things like that. So as a kit basher, Mafia said, as a kit basher, I have to build first and take it apart. Yeah, definitely. If you're doing any customization or kit bashing stuff like that, I mean, you have to be able to work on the kit before painting. So, all right. I'll also size some of the parts side by side to see what parts need painting. Yeah. Okay. I think that's a quick question. Would you like to try that balloon resin effect parts that people make on Twitter? Yeah, I would. I've never tried that, but that does look really cool. What Comical Nerd's talking about is basically using a clear resin, and you just have a balloon, sort of like you do for paper mache. If you guys have ever done that, you have a paper balloon and you put your paper mache over it, and then when you pop and take out the balloon, then you have a paper mache bowl kind of thing. Imagine that, but you're painting some liquid resin on the balloon, and then when you pop it and remove the balloon, then you have your resin in the shape of a cool effect part. Yeah, I've seen it done a lot, but I've never actually tried it. I would like to try it, yeah, at some point, because it does look very cool. Makes for some cool custom made effect parts. Okay, all right, that's gonna be it for today, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. Check out the live stream tomorrow morning on the USA Gundam TV channel. And the next live build for me will be something next week. I'm not sure what it'll be quite yet, but I will certainly let you guys know. Thank you all so much for hanging out. See you guys later.